People think pain caused pain. That would almost be simpler. But it doesn't. A pain flare doesn't just hurt. It sends out invoices. Sleep, energy, focus, patience, plans, work, tomorrow. That's the part people don't see. Pain doesn't just hurt. It changes interests. So I want to break down the hidden cost of a pain flare. Not just the physical part. I mean the real world bill it leaves behind. The stuff nobody sees. And the reason one bad day can spill into everything around. A flare usually looks small from the outside. Maybe I cancel something. Maybe I move slower. Maybe I seem a little off. But I just get quieter. From the outside, it can look like one rough day. From the inside, it's more like watching the whole structure of the day start shifting under your feet. Because once pain crosses a certain line, everything starts costing more. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, logistically. That's where the bill starts. The first bill pain usually sends me is sleep. Either it caused a bad sleep that helped trigger the flare, or the flare shows up and the sleep becomes the next casualty. And bad sleep is not just feeling tired. Bad sleep lowers patience. It lowers resiliency. It lowers recovery. It lowers margin. It makes everything easier to irritate and harder to handle. So now the flare is not just costing pain. It's costing the one thing that might have helped me absorb it better. That's why bad pain days have a way of snowballing. They don't stay in their lane. Then comes energy. Pain has this brutal way of making simple things feel overpriced. Tiny tasks start carrying ridiculous price tags. Normal people, energy mass stops working. Now it's not, can I do this? It's, what will this cost me after? That changes everything. Because once your day becomes an energy budgeting task, every ordinary life starts feeling strategic, not dramatic. Strategic. That's the part I think people miss the most about pain. Pain doesn't just limit what you do. It changes how you think about doing anything. Then there's focus. Pain is loud. And when pain gets loud enough, concentration gets crowded out. You can still technically be there, but not fully. That matters more than people think. Because now, even work conversations, decisions, and problem solving all cost more mental effort. And mental effort is not free on a flare day. So the bill keeps growing. The pain is taking the body first. Then it starts renting space in the mind. The mood gets taxed. Patience gets taxed and thinner. Frustration gets quicker. Little things hit harder than they should. And that part can bring guilt with it. Because you know it's not really about the small thing. It's the total load. But when pain has already taken sleep, energy, and focus, there's not much cushion left. That's what makes flares feel bigger than symptoms alone. They reduce your margin. And when margin disappears, life gets sharp. One of the hidden costs that bothers me most is plans. Pain makes life harder to trust. They want to say yes. I want to say yes. You want to commit. You want to be solid. But a flare doesn't care what's on the calendar. So pain is not just messing with the body. It's messing with reliability, identity, confidence, Because every time something gets canceled, delayed, reduced, or quietly dropped, it costs more than the event itself. It chips away at your sense of being someone who can just do normal life, normally. And that gets old fast. And then there's work. This is where pain gets brutally practical. Because if energy is unpredictable, focus is taxed, and recovery is slower, then productivity starts taking hits too. Sometimes obvious hits, sometimes subtle ones. You work slower. You recover slower. You need more margin. You lose more to the day than people realize. And money has a way of getting involved, whether you're invited it or not. Missed work, lower output, extra tools, extra support, trying things, replacing things, managing things. Pain is expensive even before you count the pain. That's one of the most frustrating parts. But maybe the biggest hidden cost is tomorrow, because one flare does not always stay one flare. Sometimes it turns into a crash after the crash. You lose momentum. You lose recovery time. You lose the next day's capacity before the next day even starts. That's why I keep saying pain charges interest. Because sometimes the flare is not done when the worst moment is done. It leaves residue. And that residue changes what tomorrow can be. This is the part I wish more people understood when somebody says they're in pain. They're not only talking about sensation. Sometimes they're talking about the whole invisible bill around it. The energy math, the focus tax, the canceled plans, the emotional drag, the sleep fallout, the tomorrow that got smaller. That's why pain can feel isolating even when other people care. Because from the outside, the bill is hard to see. From the inside, it's all itemized. So what is the hidden cost of the one pain flare? It's not just the pain. It's the chain reaction. It's the sleep getting hit. Energy getting priced out. Focus getting crowded. Mood getting thinner. Plans getting shakier. Work getting harder. Tomorrow getting smaller. That's the real cost. And honestly, just having language for that helps. Because when you can name the bill, you stop feeling quite as crazy for noticing how big the bill is. Pain doesn't just hurt. It rearranges the economy of the day. And that's why the next thing I want to talk about is pacing. Because once you realize pain charges interest, the question becomes, how do you stop making the payment bigger? So the next video is about that.